Well, like any long-term company, we've been in business for over 150 years. We've been in a lot of businesses over the years, but Port Blakely got involved in real estate projects. We'd completed a few small projects in the 80s, and we learned a lot about the development process and everything that was involved to develop a project. And some of the things we learned that were most important were how to develop a collaborative partnership and to engage both public and private partners in a larger scale project like Issaquah Highlands, and the importance of engaging stakeholders and creating the vision for what was going to be developed. So in the 90s, as many people know, the region was growing rapidly. There was a strong demand for housing, and about that time, we had the opportunity to purchase the 2,200 acres up on what is now Issaquah Highlands. And but this was a much bigger project than anything we had done, so it was a much larger scale. And at that time, it was really important to the family owners that if we were going to do a project like this, that it was guided by a vision for creating community. We wanted it to be unique and different and sustainable. And that led us to the concepts of new urbanism, sustainability. We wanted it to be a walkable community. And the family owners are really aligned with the company in terms of the basic framework of what we are proud of today, which is Issaquah Highlands. Well, like any big project that stimulates the passions of so many people, including everybody in the Issaquah community, which is such a great community, and they really care about it, and everybody who was eventually moving in and continues to live there, all of the other stakeholders. It was a complex project, and I think one of the biggest challenges that we faced was how to bring all those people together in a project of such complexity and scale. Frankly, the scale of it changed several times during the time that we owned the project because we didn't intend to develop all of the commercial area. Microsoft had purchased options on that, which they then returned. So it was a constant adaptation, and evolution was a challenge, but we're still really proud of what happened. And I think what was very helpful is that every decision that we made along the way was guided by the vision for what we hoped the community would be. Now in the early years, it was about access, and so we went through quite a process with the state of Washington and King County and the city of Issaquah to develop the overpass. There was at the time a need to work within the urban growth boundary. So, and we had to address density concerns, and we ended up dedicating, as a lot of people in Issaquah know, about 75% of the land base to open space and parks and natural areas. So there were a lot of behind the scenes mechanics to make all that happen. But in the end, they've proven to be really great benefits to the community. Around 2000, another significant challenge was we'd actually had a startup company who was going to be putting in the fiber optic network and operating it. And as we all know, in 2000, there was a significant financial event which led to the dot-com bust. The company went out of business, but it was important to us that we fulfilled the original vision of having a place to live, work, and play. And so we took up the fiber optic network and created a new business model where it would eventually be turned over to the community. And that was a big challenge, a big complex challenge. People were trying to figure out how to do fiber to the home and community-owned networks. There weren't a lot of successful models. And fortunately, we figured that out. And then I guess the last one, the most significant one, was really the financial crisis of 2007 and 8. And many of you who have been there for a long time in Issaquah Highlands will know we were in conversations with development partners and retailers about groceries and gas stations and restaurants, and to have this great town center. A financial crisis hit, and had we been in where we thought we would have been at that time, we would have been just coming up out of the ground and starting to lease spaces. And fortunately, ironically, we weren't, because as everybody knows, the retail sector really took a hit during the financial crisis. But eventually Regency Centers purchased the land, and the development that's down in the commercial area is there today. So it's been a number of challenges over the years, but like I said, everybody came together. There was a great sense of community investment in it from the city of Issaquah and from the residents and from all of us. And many of those retail and development partners have seen it through to where it is today. So now, you know, the cinema and the grocery store were a dream early on, and now they're there and everything else, and it continues to evolve. So it's a great thing to see. Well, there's a lot, I would say there's a lot we're proud of. The company and our owners, I think, are really proud that Issaquah Highlands is the thriving community that it has become. I think it's exceeded our wildest dreams of what it could possibly be to start a community from scratch. It's really turned into the urban village that we all envisioned. It goes way beyond just the physical structure of the buildings and the pipes under the ground and the water that a lot of developers think about. That the open space, the sustainability standards, the built green efforts that we did early on, the diversity, the type of housing that's up there. Again, the fiber optic network as an amenity, the community associations, the governance system, all these things we're really proud of. We're also really proud to have, you know, contributed Blakely Hall. It's beyond just having our name on the building. I think the idea was there was to have a community center where everybody could come together. We wanted to facilitate community building. And I know it's close to being open again with COVID, but it's really great to see that that's sort of the hub and spoke of the community. And so that contributes to everything that we envisioned there. I would have to say we're also proud of the partnerships that we've had with developers, with residents, and some residents over many years. The city of Issaquah and everybody who contributed to that, and all the business partners who've made it happen. So we're proud of a lot of the accomplishments up there and of the community that's there now and thriving and taking ownership. Yeah, well, this is an important part of the building of community, is the part where the developer hands it over. And as some of you know, Port Blakely wears two hats. So in this process, we wore the master developer hat, which was to design and develop Issaquah Highlands. And then we also serve as the declarant, which is a governance role that gives us authority and control and management of the development process. Now, as declarant, we created the three community organizations, the Highlands Council, the IHCA, and HFN. And now is the time where we get to turn those over. In fact, for the last several years, it's been a process of turning those over. And what we're doing now is we're really focused on making Issaquah Highlands completely self-sustaining. So the idea is to transition the last of these roles and the responsibilities over, and to make sure that each of those organizations is sustainable, which has been ongoing work these last several years. So what's happening now is the final step. The transition is taking place, and we're taking off our hats and leaving our community, our role in the community, over to IHCA, Highlands Council, and HFN. And it's going to be up to you and all your residents to continue the legacy and to create the next one and to finish it out. And so it's been a partnership and stewardship. We're happy to hand that over, and very proud of everybody that's been involved in it. I guess I would say that, you know, as a long-term family-owned company in the Pacific Northwest, we often talk about our roots running deep, 5 generations in this company. We have a long history. We've always balanced wanting to be proud of what we do as a business, and you know, also as a business making money doing it. And our experience in Issaquah Highlands will always be a point of pride and a part of that legacy, and something that we will always look back on and continue to look at with a lot of pride. So now's the chance for us to say goodbye and to thank each and every one of you for everything that everybody has done to create Issaquah Highlands. It was truly a communal effort, and you know, one of the safest, most sustainable communities in the country. We couldn't be more proud of it. And all of you who live there and who operate all the organizations should be really proud of it too. And on that note, I should say a hearty congratulations and thank you to Christy and her staff at the Highlands Council, to Sarah and her staff at the IHCA, to everybody who's been involved with HFN is on the board, and our partners at ISA Media. And all of you that live in Issaquah Highlands, I hope you stay involved and active in supporting all these organizations and in your community. And if you aren't engaged or you don't know what they do, I really encourage you to look into it, because they really provide an incredible service to all of you. And then looking ahead, we're just really proud, as I've said before, and grateful for the friends we've made and the partnerships we've had, and know that we've created a good place in the world. So hats off to all of you.